Salam, this is Ayatariq, and today I did this quick and easy sheer foundation look for anyone that doesn't like heavy foundation. This might be the video for you. It's very youthful, very glowy, very sheer. I look like myself, and I hope you guys like it. I'm starting with skin prep. The key to natural makeup is good skin prep. Here I'm starting with an eye cream from Mad Hippie. It has peptides and it's been very helpful, especially during the winter. I put a little bit under my eyes, and then whatever is left, I will just tap it in the areas where I feel like I need more hydration between my eyebrows and on my lips. Next, I'm moving to Embryolisse. It's a kit essential. Always had it, always will. It's a little bit rich, so if you don't have very dry skin, you can just use less, but that's what I use when I'm on set. Next, Kosas Lip Fuel. It has hyaluronic acid, very light, not sticky. My love for B3 lily oil. I love this oil because it does not just sit on the skin, actually get absorbed really quickly. And I just seal all the moisturizer in by finishing up with an oil. It's good to just like take a look at your skin and find trouble areas. Like for me, I have this guy right now, right here. A little like a little breakout that I would cover up. Here I have a little bit of pigmentation around, just a little bit around the mouth, and I have a big freckle on my cheek that if I don't cover, it kind of looks like I have pigmentation. So I just go in and pinpoint those areas and around the nose, and then it just looks much better and you look more awake and rested. I got my skin prep done, and the point is just to get the skin into the right texture where the foundation doesn't look cakey or like it's too much. Right now, I'm just gonna move to making the skin look more glowy. What I'm gonna use is a Celestial Skin Liquid Lightening by Kevyn Aucoin in Candlelight. I like using this first because it just makes the skin look better without having to add too much product later. And it gives it a really nice glow. You see that? And that's the point of this sheer foundation, is making the skin look glowy without putting too much. And this is like very light. It doesn't feel very heavy on the skin. Just make sure you blend it really well. And if you put too much, just go with this part of your hand and you can take off if you feel like you have a lot. And then it helps with just blending it all together. Moving on, I'm gonna use the MAC Face and Body in C3. And it's very sheer. It doesn't move and it's waterproof. What I do, I like to like just rub it between my fingers. And then I just kind of press it. It's very MAC way. I just use a little bit, and I like to use a little bit at the time. And if I feel like I need some areas like covered more, which I'll show you right now, I just go back in. But what I do when I need a little bit more coverage is just like rub my hands together, and then I go and press in those areas. Because when you rub it together, you're kind of like drying the product out. Don't forget to bring it down your neck. You're drying the product out will makes the product thicker. So it kind of like you're changing the formula a little bit. Just always bring it down to blend everything together. And I always like to go with the foundation first. So I don't use too much concealer. I just use concealer where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. So this is how it looks like. You can still see my freckles and, you know, my skin. You can still see my skin. So that's the idea. After you're done with your foundation, just kind of like take a look and see where you want a little bit more coverage, if you do want a little bit more coverage. I'm pretty happy with the foundation, but I do think there are areas where I can color correct a little bit. Not everyone needs a color corrector, but I do need to warm up some areas that are cooler. So I'm gonna use the MAC Prep and Prime in this like orangey shade. I'm gonna put just a little bit around my mouth, just like here, where it looks kind of like a dimple because it's darker. So it looks like it's caving in. And then this area that I was talking about a little bit earlier. So usually I would like let it dry out so it doesn't move so much when you go in and blend something else on top of it, if that makes sense. And then I would like blend it out. If there is excess, you're kind of picking up the excess with your finger. Because you're not covering with it, you're just warming up the color, you're just color correcting. So it's gonna look something like this. Now I'm gonna do my regular concealer, which is the Nars Radian Creamy Concealer, this one. And my shade is in Macadamia, which is 1.5. So I'm gonna take a little bit, and this is mine, so I just go in with it directly. If this is from your kit, please put it on a palette. So I'm gonna go in these areas where I like a little bit more coverage, just to make the eyes look awake and not very tired. And I'm just gonna go here too. That was a little too much. I'm gonna move it. And start slow. It's easier to always add than to take away. So on set, when I have someone in my chair, I always try to go as slow as possible when I'm building up foundation or even like an eyeshadow shape or whatever. So I'm gonna take this Real Technique brush and I'm just gonna press gently around these areas and kind of like blend out. That's why it's really good to have a concealer that matches your skin, so you don't feel like you're kind of working against yourself. I really like this brush too because it's like dense and the bristles are short. So it's not like scattering the product all over your face, it's keeping it where you need it. And then areas that you feel like you have more like bigger pores, I also like to just press. You can press with your finger, you can press with a brush. When I do this, just because I want heavier coverage in these areas, I like to press with a brush. I don't know, I change my mind all the time. Just make sure there's like no lines that you can see, like a separation between the foundation or the concealer. It's nice when everything just kind of like blends in together, because that's what natural looks like. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like I can use just a tiny bit here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my hand just because I don't want to go in with the applicator that it has, because usually it will add a lot. So I'm just picking it up slowly with my brush and pressing. So I'm pretty happy with this. Everything is just like blended out. There is no line. If you get closer to the mirror and you feel like there is any lines that are like separating your foundation from your concealer, just even if you take just like a clean brush and you just go in and just blend it out, just so you make sure that you're not like adding more. And if you feel like this is too much for you, just go ahead, rub some moisturizer on your palms just a little bit, and you can always go like this. I like to do this because it brings back the redness on my cheeks. It just looks, and I'm picking up the product off my skin, and you can see my freckles a little bit. And it doesn't look unnatural. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use MAC Face and Body in C7, which is way darker shade than I am. I'm gonna take a little drop. This is even too much. Let me do this. Okay. And I'm just gonna rub it between my hands. I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna go in the areas where I want a little bit more warmth, basically. So instead of using what is it called? A contour stick or whatever, which tends to be heavier some of the time, I like to use something sheer. This kind of makes the skin look sun-kissed. Do you see the difference between this here and this here? And it kind of just like blends everything together, and it's just easier. Tiny bit on the nose, and then by the jawline. And if you like to look more bronze, just go ahead and do it. It's just because it's liquid, it doesn't look powdery, and your skin will still look glowy like you were laying on the beach. Instead of doing lots of powder, which tends to be matte most of the time, I just feel like this is more believable. If you get here and you feel like this is too shiny or it doesn't work for me and I don't like walking around with this much shine, that's totally fine. You can use blotting powder from MAC. I depotted, so this is how it looks like. Basically, I will like take a little bit on a fluffy brush like this and just go in the areas where you feel like you don't want that much shine. Which I don't like shine on in the middle of my forehead, to be honest. But my skin prep has lots of oils and creams because that's what's working for me right now. Because I've been using retinoid, which makes my skin really, really dry. So I have to keep hydrating my skin throughout the day. So around the nose is not a very nice look when it's really shiny. So I like blotting powder because it's not heavy. So it looks better that way. Do not use foundation powder unless you want more coverage. If you do want more coverage, the Charlotte Tilbury, this powder, which is the Airbrush Flawless Finish, is really, really good. If you feel like this is not enough coverage and you just want to set some areas, just go ahead and use that. To me, this looks good. I'm happy with how my skin looks like. It has glow in the right places, which is like the highest point of the cheek, a little bit at the tip of the nose, even though I didn't put like a highlighter there. If you like it, you can put a little bit on the brow bone. I like this look right now, so I'm not gonna mess with it a lot. Just gonna leave it here. So this is the makeup look for a very sheer and youthful foundation look. Doesn't look like a lot. Izzy, can you see my freckles? Yeah? Do mommy look still like mommy? Yeah. So very easy, very youthful look. Not a lot of steps, and I still feel and look like myself. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and don't forget to subscribe, and until I see you next time, salam.
Do you say salam, Izzy?